to show you how I kind of find my levels of support and resistance here on the SPY S&P 500. Just because you kind of have an idea what I'm looking for. This would be the hourly chart. So I get my price level tool out, and basically what I'm looking for is pivots. So we got a pivot here, pivot here, pivot here. And that tells me there's a little bit of resistance right there. I'm going to put a line somewhere in there. You can actually go over here and see where it had touched before and bounced as support, and it came down here, bounced again here, kind of broke below it, then came back up with this big move up. Came back down, broke through that level, which made this now resistance. It came up here, tested it again, and now just this morning, as I had kind of called out earlier, this level on SPY, this would be the area I would go short. As you can see, it came right up to that area and fell apart. Now, one thing I will show you is you could see some of these levels, it's 39378, and this one's a little lower. So it's not going to be exact. So what I like to do is go ahead and grab my rectangle tool, and it'll give a shaded area. Pull this back over here. I'll start kind of at the close, probably of that candle there. I'll come right up in here, roughly somewhere there. Now this here area will be my supply area, support, or not support, but resistance area. So that's where I would have looked to go short. As far as demand areas and support, I see a few bottoms here. We got a pivot here, kind of bounced here, another one here, and then this data wick came into here. So I'm looking at that as our support right now. And it has, right there, it has somewhat of a, what we call inverse head and shoulders. It'll be a shoulder here, and this is the head. That can indicate a reversal pattern unless this comes back through the neckline. So then again, I'm going to shade that a little bit just to kind of give me a reference. Maybe the bottom of that candle here to the bottom of that wick. And that's going to kind of be my area of demand here. Now, if this would break through this again, what I would look for is a short entry when it pulls back to this area to retest it, because a lot of times it'll break, come back for a retest, and then flush down. The next area I would look at on this would be the very low here. Now that's not going to be as strong. We'll probably have some stop losses under here. We could probably wick through this, take out stop losses, and it might bounce back. What you like to see is at least two pivots, like 1, 2. And then this came up for the third. And so this would be a first touch. If we come down, we could bounce off that. Let's see. We have another area pivot here. And we have a pivot here. You see it touched here. All these candles touching. Went through and came back down, retested it. And this is also would be called a head and shoulders. You got a shoulder here, the head and the shoulder. And it rejected that, came through. So this would be my next area. If it breaks, this would be the area right in here. If it breaks through this, what I'd look for is to go long up into here. Like if it broke through, we come back, retest, go long here, and possibly ride it up into here somewhere. And if it got up here, you could go short here with stop loss above this here somewhere, where it's not going to be too close to get stopped out. Next level I'm going to look at is some at this top and some up here. This is actually another shoulder, head, and shoulders. A reversal pattern to go down. These are two other levels there. Scroll back here. So yeah, that's kind of what I look for in hourly. Now let me Go to the daily time frame and just see if this matches up with anything. Okay, we see that one there's the top of this daily high candle. So that should be pretty good. Zoom this in. See, this one was the top of that day candle, so that's real good, and that one close to that one. This one here will be today's high. It was also close to, I think, pre-market. This one went up here. So daily looks pretty good. Yeah, this level here looks like that wick's just below that one. So that'll be the area for support. So all that looks good. So let me switch back over to the hourly then. And I'm going to use my fibs, my Fibonacci retracement. And I'm going to go from this high on the hourly to this low. Now look at there, 61.8 level right here. Lines up with this resistance area. So that's double confirmation. 50% it went through, but we got multiple touches on that 61.8, so that would have been a very strong spot. Let's see. Zoom this in. We could actually do another fib. Could have been here. We touched the 61.8 pulling back. That could have been a possibly long entry for a small scalp. Let's see here. Let's do this one up to this high. See where that. Okay, we see that candle wick went down on that 61, pulled right back. Another example of the fib retracements. They're pretty accurate. Let's see, anything else? Sometimes I like to just switch over to my weekly also, just see the big picture. All right. Let me see here. We got looks like a trend line that we could draw down to this weekly area right in here. Bam, bam, we broke through that last month, came down, bounced off it a little bit, and then this candle we broke down below. And then this week we came up and retested that trend. Now we'll see if we possibly go further below here. This area here I can see on the weekly is going to be a major level. Let me see, we got 3 candles, so this is probably going to be a range. But I would guess somewhere in there. Could be an area of strong demand. Yeah, the levels, top of those candles. Further out, time-wise, we got in here. Which actually also lines up with these. Let's just draw a supply area right here and go. All right. And then we can see also right here on the weekly time frame, if we go from low to high, this here, I think this one actually went high pre-market a little further, but anyways, it came down here and almost touched the 61.8. It might have pre-market, I'm not sure. It doesn't really show on the weekly or daily charts. But yeah, close enough. Let me see, go back to an hourly chart or 15-minute chart. I'm going to see if I can show you guys how to draw, how I use my fib extensions. Let me just remove all these drawings, clear this up. And let's go right here. It's my fib extension. I'm going to go from this pivot low down here. You start with, work your way up here to this pivot high, then the retracement to 0 mark. What I like to do is that kind of gives me an idea where possibly if we continue this trend where we'll pivot for another retracement. What I like to do is wait for the 100% level to the 110%. This is the area here that I want to look for a short entry to go counter trend, right in this area. So once this hit 100% right there at that candle wick, I believe I had called that out yesterday in my group, right in here. That's where I would have want to go short, and also would have had a stop loss up in there. And you can see it did pull back down. Now it doesn't always work out, but a lot of times I've found that it does. If it decides to go higher, like we can see here, we could go from that point, into the pullback, and it possibly could have went up into here, which would also been a good area because we got looks like some support right in here, or not support, but resistance. We got resistance right here, just above that 110. So if I was putting my stop loss in here, I'd be just above here. Yeah, preferably we would have pushed up there and took a trade in here somewhere to go short. Get rid of that. It also, I found it to work on the down too. Let me see if this one lines up. Pivot high, pivot low, pull back. Here we have it, 100% area here. Bought that wick right in here and got that for the retracement. Now when you're counter trend trading, you don't want to stay real long because you're going against the trend. So I mean, you're just basically in there for that scalp, like right here. Yeah, as far as my, let me go here, get out of here. This way. All right, let me just show you my settings I have on here. So I just go onto your settings and I only select the 0%. I don't even worry about these, 23, 38, 50, or the 61.8. I leave my 78 and the 100 and 110%. And the 78 is just basically for a reference. Up there, you start, be a little more careful up there. And that's basically it on that. Get rid of this. And I'll do the fib retrace there. Yeah. Come here. I'll go here and show you all the settings I have here. This one I just do the 0. It's a 50, 61.8, 78, and 100. And I typically don't like to take a trade until it gets to the 61.8. If it's a real strong trend up, a 50%, I'll take sometimes, but I'd like it usually to get to 61.8 with a stop loss below somewhere. See just where this one went actually. Redraw that better here. I'm gonna see this had this huge candle, has a lot of momentum. So I would have felt a little more comfortable coming in here at the 50% and maybe add if it came down 61% with a stop back in here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. What I like to look for, finding support resistance areas on the hourly and the dailies. And then, put my fib levels on there and just see where they line up. I usually like to get 2 or 3 confirmations, a nice resistance area in combination with a fib level. Yeah. So I think that's all I got. If you have any questions, leave comments in the below and I'll try to get with you.